Aloha and welcome to the East Oahu Realty Report, second quarter 2017.
If we look at the big picture, we can see that house prices in the United States rose just over 6% from the first quarter of 2016 to the first quarter of 2017. This represents nearly 6 consecutive years of price appreciation in the United States by almost 36%. Mortgage rates during the second quarter remained slightly elevated relative to most of last year, but demand for homes remained very strong. With housing inventories still languishing at extremely low levels, the strong demand led to another exceptionally large quarterly price increase.
Although the states seeing the greatest price appreciation over the last year were largely the same as in recent periods, we did see 2 newcomers. The District of Columbia had the greatest price increase by nearly 14%. The other newcomer was New Hampshire, which had the 5th highest appreciation.
Going forward, the future direction of mortgage rates will play a key role in determining house price growth. Since the end of the first quarter, mortgage rates have dropped somewhat, which may have bolstered home values. Also important is the inventory of homes. The inventory levels remain far below what would be expected under normal market conditions.
Without strong offsetting factors like worsening labor market conditions or decreased consumer confidence, such extraordinarily tight inventories will continue to put upward pressure on home prices.
Hawaii was ranked 47th in the nation with 1% price appreciation after states like number 1, the District of Columbia, up by nearly 14%, and number 2, Colorado, with around an 11% increase.
The city and county of Honolulu is up nearly 4% year over year and remains strong in price appreciation. Honolulu is ranked 174th in the nation after cities like number 1, Bremerton, Silverdale, Washington, and number 2, Palm Bay, Melbourne, and Titusville, Florida, both up around 14%.
If we look at the nation's financial stress index in the second quarter of 2017, it is at a negative 1.6 points. You can see we are down from the index's highs of nearly 6 points during the last recession, highlighted in red.
From active and new listings to months of supply, the supply indicator levels are mixed. Months supply still remains historically low at 3 months.
There were almost 1,800 single-family home closings in the first half of the year. This is up nearly 5% year over year. Condominiums had a 6% jump to over 2,800 sold units. Over time, we can see the peak and trough pattern that demand follows.
If we overlay months supply on this demand chart, we can see the inverse relationship between supply and demand over almost 3 decades. Currently, supply is low and demand is high.
The effect of this low supply and high demand is likely what is putting upward pressure on median sales price. In the second quarter, prices rose nearly 5% in single-family to $795,000 and dropped 1% to $400,000 for condominiums. Real estate expert Eddie Flores predicts median price for single-family homes could hit $1 million by 2022.
If we compare market velocity and price point on Oahu single-family homes, we see it is fairly consistent at the low end of prices at just below 20 days on the market to sell. Once we hit 1.1 to 1.9 million, it jumps up 50%, and then at 1.9 million plus, it more than doubles to 72 days. The breaking point is about 1.1 million. Anything below that in single-family homes, on average, is sold in several weeks, and above that could take months. For condominiums, the break occurs roughly at $475,000.
Days on market is a good measure of market velocity, or how quickly homes are selling. In the second quarter, market velocity for both categories is just under 2 weeks to sell. Market velocity is up about 14% for single family and 35% for condominiums.
In this chart, we can see the amount of real estate loans relative to total bank assets over the last 40 years. This indicates bank exposure to real estate purchases. Too low of a number is negative, and too high can indicate a bubble. We are currently at 26%. This is off 9 points from the ratio's high of 35% in the peak of the market in 2006.
The line in the graph represents an index that tracks Hawaii's economic activity. We can see the last 5 U.S. recessions highlighted in gray. Since the spring of 2009, the index has recovered almost 39 points.
In the first half of the year, visitors' days hit nearly 42 million. This was up over 4% year over year.
Visitor spending was almost $8.4 billion in the second quarter. This is up nearly 9% year over year, led by the US, Japan, and Canada. Each country increased their spending this quarter in the double digits.
Arrivals in the second quarter grew over 4% year over year to nearly 4.6 million visitors. We had increased arrivals from the United States, Japan, and Canada, but 1% fewer visitors from all other international markets compared to a year ago.
In summary, for the second quarter of 2017, prices were up for single-family homes and down slightly for condominiums. Supply remains low. Market velocity is just under 2 weeks to sell, and there is stability in Hawaii's economy.
The neighborhood of the quarter is Windward Coast single-family homes. Demand is up. There was a 34% increase to 39 closed sales in the first half of the year. Supply has decreased. There was an 18% decrease in new listings to 53.
This high demand and low supply in the second quarter may have caused Windward Coast single-family homes median price to rise 8%. These numbers earn Windward Coast single-family homes the neighborhood of the quarter.
With the help of a proven professional, you can navigate this often confusing and difficult process with ease. When you work with East Oahu Realty, you work with a team of knowledgeable and experienced professionals equipped with special expertise. Thank you for watching, and until next quarter, aloha.